Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Nightly Sports Call.
Thanks very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome as we take your calls once again on the Allegheny Health Network Nightly Sports Call. 412-575-2600 is the number to call on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. You can also reach us on Twitter tonight at KDPomp, P-O-M-P, at Paul Zeiss. Paul is here from the Post-Gazette and 93.7 The Fan, where he's a busy man because he's got a post-game show that he'll be doing right after this show on the radio. So, Paul, let's start there with the fact that the Pirates won a game. Chad Kuhl, probably his best effort of the year. Nice to see that, but still, 8-2 Cincinnati's record against the Pirates. One of the reasons why they are where they are is because of not beating these teams they really should have beaten based on how they handled the good teams.
Well, the one thing they did was contain Billy Hamilton. That's a good start.
Plus, he gets ejected.
He gets ejected. I think the big thing is Chad Kuhl. I mean, that's his best start of the year, right?
Right.
I mean, maybe his best start of his career.
7 shutout innings.
He did what they needed him to do. They got some early runs, so they sort of settled down. And that's what you're supposed to do against the Reds, right? That's what you're supposed to do against a bad team. So hopefully they can build on it. They got the Padres coming in now, which is another team that they've had an interesting history with. You would hope that they could win at least 2 out of 3 this weekend, because if they don't, I'm not sure really what that says about where they're actually at.
Right. Highlights of that one coming up at 11 o'clock on KDK. Plus, we're going to show you a tremendous day for Paul Goldschmidt, who battled some raindrops and the Cubs pitching as Arizona beats Chicago, so they lose 2 of 3 to the Diamondbacks. It's going to be still going down to the wire with whomever, although, Paul, I don't know about you, but I was a little surprised. The Pirates did nothing at the trade deadline, but neither did the Brewers or the Cardinals, and I thought the Brewers had an opportunity to upgrade their team. It seems like everyone had the white flag of unconditional surrender out to the Chicago Cubs.
Well, I think with the Brewers, they felt like they're at least a year away. They've got, some young players they like. They didn't feel like they were a team that legitimately could contend for the World Series and whatnot, so they thought this would not be the year to go after it. Although I think that one of the things that always bothers me at these trade deadline discussions, Bob, why is it always, you go and get the top guys and empty out your farm system, or you do nothing? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why wouldn't the Brewers make a couple of really, targeted moves that make sense, that upgrade them in a couple of areas that they need to be upgraded? Now, the Cardinals, I think they just are a bad team. I think they're completely, they're a team that's completely rebuilding.
It's not the same Cardinal team that we expected to see with big-time players, although potentially they have some. And they have developed some younger guys, but they're not the St. Louis Cardinal team, so we'll see what they do in the offseason. I think all of these teams will have very interesting offseasons, which leads me to Andrew McCutchen, who tonight had a nice, beautiful catch out there in the outfield, plus 2 runs batted in as he continues to build on that total. And the question always is going to be, will they sign him? How much is he worth? Will they do it? And my answer is they won't do it, because I haven't seen evidence that they will, and his market, I mean, if you look at what he should be being paid in the open market, it's going to be between $18 and $22 million per year.
I think Neil Huntington made it pretty clear. I think he was on 93.7, or maybe he was on...
Yeah, Cook and Pony.
Yeah, he was on Cook and Pony earlier this week. I think he made it pretty clear when he started talking about percentages of payrolls, Bob. You know what that means. They're not going to pay him $17, $18, $19 million.
But should they?
I would.
Should they?
I would, and I'll tell you
too.
why. He's going to be their best outfielder for at least the next 2 or 3 years. I mean, he's better than Marte.
You don't have to give him an 8-year deal. You're talking about 3 or 4 years.
If he takes a 4-year deal, you rip up the club option next year, I would absolutely do it, because he's going to be better than Meadows at least 3 of the next 4 years. He's better than Polanco. He's better than Marte. I mean, those guys, Polanco has some potential. Marte's probably a better fielder. But in terms of being their best all-around outfielder and probably their best all-around player, he'll still be that 2 or 3 years from now.
Yeah, based on how he's really come on this season, no doubt about it. All right, we're also talking about the Steelers with you tonight. Not much news developing up there. Martavis Bryant is still on the sidelines waiting to get his call. I still don't understand what the NFL does in these situations. How long does he wait, and why is he waiting? They don't communicate even with teams. So that's going on. Ben Roethlisberger left practice a little early today. He was kind of wobbling around, but Mike Tomlin said it was nothing to worry about. But Joshua Dobbs got in there, and I saw him make some pretty good throws and also some really good catches. Justin Hunter, wide receiver, a veteran, is looking very good. Keep in mind, there's no Bryant, there's no Sammy Coates yet, so guys are getting opportunity. Juju Smith-Schuster back, and he made some nice plays today as well, which leads me into this, because one lucky caller tonight, if you call us and we pick you out, you are going to get a couple of tickets to see the Steelers' first ever Family Fest Sunday night at Heinz Field. That's right, they're going to move the practices down here to Heinz Field. All sorts of entertainment, frisbee dogs, BMX stunt shows, music, face painting, and an opportunity to meet Steeler legends and take your picture with the Lombardi Trophy. So all of that coming up on Sunday night, beginning at 5 o'clock, gates open in Heinz Field. We'll pick a winner tonight. When we come back, your calls on the way. It's 412-575-2600 right here live on Pittsburgh CW.